Hi everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave. I'm going to analyse Litecoin with you today. Before I jump into that, a reminder, I have a link in the description box down below if you would like regular, every Monday Bitcoin analysis. I do that on my website, Pure Elliott Wave. Here are all the posts for my members. Every Monday I publish text, charts and video. So if you want to subscribe to that, click on the link below, head on over to the website and take a look. Litecoin on the monthly chart, my wave count remains the same. I have an impulse complete up here in December 2017. This movement fits pretty well as an impulse. I'm labelling that cycle 1. Cycle 2 over in a year in December 2018, and from there cycle 3 begins. Within cycle wave 1, primary 3 was 71.374, the length of primary wave 1. If we see the same relationship between primary 1 and 3 within cycle 3, then a target for primary 3 would be 8,943. Within primary 3, no second wave correction may move beyond its start below 40.34. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. I think we're going to look at the structure of intermediate 1 and 2, not just intermediate 2. So here's the high of intermediate 1, here's the low of intermediate 2. It subdivides quite well as a double zigzag. W, the first zigzag in the double are joined by a 3 in the opposite direction labelled X, and Y, the second zigzag in the double. From the low down here up to this high, I cannot see one complete 5-wave impulse, so I'm labelling it an overlapping series of 1 and 2 at minor degree, and now 1 and an incomplete 2 at minute degree. Let's take a look at how minute waves 1 and 2 may be unfolding on the daily chart. So this high here in February 2023 is this point here, the high of 105.56 on 16th of February, the end of minute wave 1. I'm seeing minute wave 2 unfolding as a regular flat. Regular flats subdivide 3, 3, 5, and they're labelled A, B, C. Took me a little while to figure out the structure of minuet wave B, but it will fit okay as a triple zigzag. Now these aren't very common structures at all, but it does fit, and it won't fit this movement as anything else. My conclusion quite strongly is this upward movement really does look corrective. I tried to subdivide it as an impulse or a diagonal, a leading diagonal. I just couldn't get it to fit either way, but it will subdivide as a multiple zigzag. So if this is corrective, that means the larger trend at this stage for Litecoin for the short to mid-term is down. I don't have a target for you. All I'm going to say is I expect price to find support at the lower edge of this base channel, which I've copied over from the weekly chart. Going back to the weekly chart, draw this channel from this low in June 2022 to this low here in November 2022. Place a parallel copy on this high. That's a base channel around minor waves 1 and 2. Look out for minute 2 to find support at the lower edge of that channel. Along the way, price found resistance here and here, little overshoots, support here, and it's finding resistance and support around about that line still. So I'll leave the upper edge isn't as useful as the lower edge. Here's some tests of resistance here and here again. So I'll look for minute 2 to be a pullback to find support at the lower edge of that channel. A regular flat usually has wave C that moves a little bit beyond A. Actually, I think I should probably put a channel around this. Oh yeah, exactly at this point where these two lines cross over, that may be where it ends, or it could take a little bit further. We could see an overshoot of the lower edge of the base channel, but I wouldn't expect it to be overshot by long or by much. Regular flats usually fit quite well into a channel drawn using Elliott's technique for a correction. So let's expect minute C and minuet C of minute 2 to find support at this trend line and also this trend line. So no price point for you, just those trend lines. Minute wave 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 49.33. And when it's complete, this wave count, going back to the weekly chart, will expect a third wave at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees. For the longer term, this wave count is really bullish, very, very bullish. For the short term really, it's bearish. On the weekly chart, in the low in June 2022, there's a strong bullish engulfing candlestick pattern off this low and a bullish long lower wick at the low. It's not long enough for this to be a hammer candlestick, but it is a bullish wick, and this is a very strong bullish candlestick pattern. At the highs up here, I think we have a small bearish engulfing candlestick pattern here. There's another one here. And currently we can't draw a conclusion about this last week here. Look out for support about 68.46, but support about 40.68 should be fairly strong. The bullish candlestick pattern up off the low did not have push from volume. That's not a deal breaker for cryptocurrencies though. I do note for cryptocurrencies, past sustained lows don't always have support from volume for their bullish candlestick patterns. For the short term, as price rose to the last high, there was a little bit of a push from volume at first, and then volume started to decline with a slight spike at the end. Volume for the last few weeks has really dropped off for Litecoin as it starts to fall. So it's essentially falling of its own weight. The last signal from on-balance volume on the weekly chart was a bullish signal that may well now be resolved, and this trend line may provide some support and assist to halt a fall in price along the way down. ADX is declining, the DX lines are whipsawing, there's no clear trend at the weekly time frame. RSI reached oversold on the weekly chart at the low for June 2022, but it didn't exhibit bullish divergence. Apart from the very beginning of Litecoin's price history, apart from that one instance when RSI started out deeply oversold, RSI has since not reached oversold until June 2022. So this is very bullish. This is the most extreme, apart from the very beginning, the most extreme bearishness Litecoin has seen. It doesn't mean it can't go lower, and RSI couldn't get more deeply oversold. Just on balance of probability, this reasonable oversold look here for RSI does suggest that that low may well be sustained. Money flow is currently overbought, not exhibiting any bearish divergence. Money flow also reached oversold, but after the low. This reached oversold in August 2022. Currently, money flow is overbought, so I would expect some downward movement. This would support the Elliott wave count. Stochastics is neutral. And ATR showing a very slight increase as price moved up off that low. That's very good to see, some volatility being expressed to the upside. On the daily chart, at the low here in March 2023, there's a huge bullish engulfing candlestick pattern and a huge bearish engulfing candlestick pattern at the high in August 2023. Currently, today, price is moving strongly lower. This session is incomplete, so we can't draw a conclusion. Look for next support, 79.95. Below that, 75.52. Up to the last high, volume showed a little bit of an increase. Today, this current downward session, it's showing volume strongly pushing price lower. Previous downward sessions were starting to show an increase already. But if we look back a little bit further, volume has really dropped off since February 2023. Volume is a fraction of what it used to be for Litecoin. On balance, volume is tracing out a range which it entered in about March 2023. This range with resistance on the yellow line and purple on the support line is technically significant. A break above resistance would be a bullish signal. A break below support would be a bearish signal. No breakout yet, so no signal. But I'd draw those lines on balance volume, and I would wait for a breakout for a signal there. ADX at this time frame as well is declining. There's no clear trend. Money flow is also neutral. Stochastics is overbought. Price is returning from resistance. Let's expect, using a model of stochastics with support and resistance, for price to continue on a downward swing until it reaches support 79.95 or 75.52. And that model overall agrees with the short-term Elliott wave count. ATR showed a little bit of an increase up to the last high, and since then prices started to fall and ATR is showing a decline. That could change, and that's normal in the early stages of a new trend for a cryptocurrency. That's it from me with some Litecoin analysis for you. And remember, if you want regular analysis of Bitcoin done by me, I do it every Monday on my website, pureelliottwave.com. Link is in the description box down below. Thank you everybody on the YouTube channel for your support.